This video is brought to you by Scratch Off Maps. Thank you very much to them for sponsoring this video. It is a brilliant map with lots of availability online that you can go and check out. So the link is in the description. They've got numerous amount of maps, including if you're wanting to follow English football, you're wanting to follow and do as many grounds in the 92. You've got maps based for the NFL over in the United States. You've got Scottish maps as well. You've got European maps, German maps for you to go and check out. So lots of variety and lots of good options. A little bit about the map. The map, very easy to scratch off. It's very accessible. You can literally just pin it up and put it literally anywhere in your room. I've even put mine on the door. I also really like the fanometer that's available on the map, where you can see how many grounds you visited and see what kind of football fan you are. I've currently done 43 of the grounds available on the map. A seasoned traveller, and I've got my eyes set this season on getting to serious respect section. Don't forget, you can go and check out the map. The link is in the description. Remember, if you use code JSGC10 on checkout, you'll get 10% off your order. Links and details, they're in the description. What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. Today we're going to be doing a Manchester City transfer update. Before I do crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, do subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget social media links there in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Do leave a thumbs up. 200 likes is the aim. Also, don't forget as well to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Finally, do go and check out today's video sponsor, Scratch Off Maps. Links and details, they're in the description. Remember, use code JSGC10 and cop yourself 10% off your order. So we're going to crack on with this video. We're going to start off with the outs, and we've got the very latest on Kalvin Phillips. Now, Steve Kay over on Twitter has said that Tottenham Hotspur, they remain keen on signing Kalvin Phillips in January. Now, we've previously heard reported that Manchester City are not going to stop Kalvin Phillips from leaving the club in January, not going to get in his way. They're happy for him to leave, and I've heard that it's more likely to be a loan deal rather than a permanent transfer. So him going to Tottenham Hotspur will have no impact on Manchester City if it is a loan deal, because he won't be able to play against us, so it's not going to come back and be able to bite us on the backside, so to speak. However, if we do sell him permanently to Tottenham Hotspur, he would be eligible to play and he would be able to play against us. Now, this to me is a situation that needs to be managed very carefully by Manchester City. I previously stated that I'm not too keen on first team squad players leaving Manchester City in January unless it is a permanent transfer, because Kalvin Phillips, if he leaves Manchester City and Man City all of a sudden end up picking up 2 or 3 injuries like we've had in our midfield so far this season, all of a sudden you take Kalvin Phillips' name away from the substitute bench, and Manchester City, we've already been in situations where we've not even been able to name a full substitute bench. Take away another first team player, and we haven't got the young players ready to step up as of yet, because I feel like in terms of their development, they're probably a good maybe 12, 24, even 36 months away from being in their development, which is how much or how many players Manchester City have sold in the summer when it comes to our academy. We've not got these players ready to take over the reins in January. Now, we do have these players ready and available in the summer, because we've already got young players out on loan that we could bring back. James McAtee being the big player, I would say, that would be able to take over the reins from Kalvin Phillips. But you have to measure up the situation very carefully, because Man City, once we get past January, we're very much into the business end of the season. You need to rotate your team, and it's a situation that Man City have managed so well and so carefully in the future. There's a reason why Man City don't really like doing bits of business in this winter transfer window. Yet I've got a feeling right here, right now, that City are going to be pretty active in the window when it comes to outgoings and incomings. And if City are interested in potentially bringing in a central midfielder, possibly in January, then it would suit City better to get the funds there and get a sale for Kalvin Phillips. And I'll tell you right now, Kalvin Phillips' value will be higher in January than what it will be in the summer, unless he manages to get a loan move and keep himself injury-free, gets himself into the England setup, and is on that plane to Germany and gets some playing time as well with England, which I'm not entirely convinced that is going to be the case. So this is something City have to get right when it comes to this transfer. And I don't know whether a loan deal or a permanent transfer would be best. I feel like meeting halfway. Loan in January with an obligation to buy would be ideal. Loaning in January with an option to buy could be something that works as well. My only concern, that's what I was stating in my last video, is I'm not keen on that because Kalvin Phillips' injury record isn't brilliant, and if you loan into Tottenham Hotspur, for example, and within a month or two he ends up picking an injury, which likely could happen, they're not going to want to take up that option to sign him, to sign an injury-prone player. And as I said, his value at the moment, I feel like, is at his ceiling value right now, and it's only going to come down. He picks up an injury in that second half of the season whilst he's out on loan anywhere, and that value is going to plummet. And Manchester City not only will struggle to get as much money for him in the summer, they may struggle to sell him. Something similar we've seen with João Cancelo, only remove the word injury and replace it with attitude, all of a sudden you find yourself in the same situation. Not managed great by City or by Cancelo, and this Kalvin Phillips one, I feel like lessons need to be learned to make this transfer work for all parties, because at the end of the day, whilst it's great for business and great for Manchester City, transfers have to work for all parties, and this Kalvin Phillips one is a very particular situation. He's not forced himself into the City first team since Rodri's suspension. He's not going to get into the Manchester City first team. He's going to be struggling for playing time, and it's well within his best interest to leave permanently on loan, where, who knows? Well, that remains to be seen. Anyway, moving on to the ins, we've got a further update on Xavi Simons over at Paris Saint-Germain, who's currently out on loan at RB Leipzig. Now, Bild over in Germany have said that Xavi Simons doesn't seem like he's going to be heading back to Leipzig on loan next summer. And apparently Paris Saint-Germain, they're pretty keen on selling him. Real Madrid, Manchester City, they're believed to be keeping tabs. So I find that really interesting that we're getting a second source reporting about Manchester City's interest in Xavi Simons. And these rumours aren't going away. And I'm reading between the lines here because I know Manchester City's name was being chucked out there when Xavi Simons was leaving Barcelona's academy to sign for Paris Saint-Germain to go to their academy before signing a professional contract with them. Man City's interest has always been there. This isn't a name that's been just plucked out of thin air. This is Man City having a good 4 or 5 years worth of scouting information on him, and City will be keeping a very close eye on his development at RB Leipzig because the Bundesliga and Germany are excellent in a close, short proximity of time of making young players go from the next big prospect into that big prospect. We've seen it with Jude Bellingham, we've seen it with Kevin De Bruyne. Xavi Simons could be just the next player that ends up going onto that conveyor belt, and that, I think, is what is piquing Manchester City's interest here, and Real Madrid's as well. And the fact that 2 of Europe's best have been linked with him shows his potential and why we may be interested in him. Now, it's a completely different matter to sort out the negotiations between us and Paris Saint-Germain, because they're going to want a lot of money. It's a transfer that's doable. I think PSG are happy to sell any player as long as they get enough money. Are we going to be able to accumulate that money? If Real Madrid are interested, how much are they willing to pay? How much are Manchester City willing to pay? How much are PSG willing to sell for? Just how interested are Manchester City? That's the big question. Interest getting firmed up. Are we ready to start crunching numbers and make a move and get the finance side of things sorted? As I said, get any developments, I will keep you guys up to date every single step of the way with all the latest Manchester City transfer news here on YouTube. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Do leave a thumbs up. 200 likes is the aim. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And do go and check out today's video sponsor, Scratch Off Maps. Links and details, they're in the description. Remember, code JSGC10 on checkout and get yourself 10% off your order. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.